FBG Cash, a member of FBG, was recently killed early this morning in Chicago. It's one of the next members of FBG that has lost their lives in the war in Chicago. So many have lost their lives recently. I mean, Duck died in 2020. Brick died. You know, all of these other guys in FBG have died, and it's sad to see FBG Cash die as well. Let's dive into it. Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Rashad Crenshaw back again with another video. Now, FBG Cash, a member of FBG, has recently been killed early this morning in Chicago. He allegedly was set up by a woman, not the woman that he was with, because she was unfortunately shot and is in critical condition. The report says that the unidentified 29-year-old female victim sustained gunshot wounds to the left arm and upper back, according to ABC7 Chicago. She was transferred to Advocate Christ Medical Center, is now in critical condition. So she may or may not pull through. And unfortunately, FBG Cash himself has passed away. Now, there are multiple, stories and conflicting reports on what happened. They're saying that the shooters ran up toward FBG Cash and opened fire on the vehicle. He exited the vehicle, shot back as he was retreating from the shooters, went into an alley, and unfortunately, he was already wounded before he could make it to the alley, and unfortunately, lost consciousness and was killed. It's sad to see. Let's be honest, it's sad to see. We're looking at a generation of dudes who have almost been completely wiped out. Guys like Vaughn, Duck, you think about how many guys have been lost or have come so close to losing their lives. Lil Reese. I mean, it boggles my mind the amount of guys that have lost their lives in Chicago thanks to these beefs, thanks to these gang wars. It blows my mind the amount of people that have been lost behind the scenes that we don't know about. The non-mainstream names, or the names that aren't known at all. How many of those guys have lost their lives? Almost an entire generation wiped clean off the face of this earth. And we're almost in absolute apathy. No one's surprised and no one really cares. We've gotten to the point where we're all used to this. This is just another name, another guy being dropped. A young man from O Block, the O Block gang, who was well acquainted with King Von, lost his life in a fight. I forget his name, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but he was in a fight, won the fight, turned around, the person he was beating up got up and shot him and killed him on camera. These guys are dropping like flies. Absolutely dropping like flies. And unlike Atlanta will wrap you up and throw you away quickly with Rico. Unlike Atlanta, these Chicago gangs are going to be free to exterminate themselves and their people for as long as Chicago decides to let them. The state of Illinois is in no hurry to get rid of these niggas at all. They're more than happy to let these guys kill one another and exterminate the rest of the community. So what's happening right now is we're watching an entire generation of men exterminate themselves. And I want to know, how did these conflicts start? For those of you who are more informed on how these conflicts truly started, inform me. I want to know what happened between these guys that has taken them to the point where they started to kill each other. I understand why the back and forth murders have been happening. There have been back and forth murders. But I want to understand, what was the catalyst that started the first murder in these beefs? I genuinely want to know, because I don't come from this life. I don't come from the streets. I'm not even from Chicago. I just want to understand and know, where is this coming from? Because these dudes are about to wipe themselves off the face of the earth. Lil Reese got shot in the neck. He damn near died. Then he almost got killed again in some sort of carjacking, weed deal gone wrong incident. These dudes are constantly at risk of losing their lives. O Block went behind on Rico. Now they're in a cell. They're behind bars, waiting to be locked up and waiting to be thrown away. They're locked up now, but they're waiting to be thrown away for the rest of their lives. We're watching an entire generation of Chicago men born in the 90s dropping like flies. Completely dropping, either going to prison for the rest of their lives or dying. And I gotta wonder, what's gonna happen to Dirk? Dirk has a case here in Atlanta that he still has not been found guilty or not guilty for. He would have faced that case alongside Vaughn, but Vaughn lost his life in 2020. So now Dirk has to face that case by himself. What could happen to him? He could end up going behind bars. There could be a RICO that comes for Dirk and his own individual associates on his end of things. There's no telling as to what can happen with these guys. These guys are dropping. And I gotta ask the people who are really, really deep into the Chicago culture and the Chicago gang culture, is this really the way it's gonna go? I really need to know. I'm curious. Is this the direction that y'all are okay with things going in? I'm not judging. I'm just curious. I really want to know, because me personally, I cannot conceive of this being a good future for any community, for any city. This is sad to watch. And what's unfortunate is the entire world has gotten used to this. Chicago is America's Coliseum. It's America's gladiator sport. The deaths that happen in this city are the entertainment of the entire country. And no one seems to be taking this seriously. It's like we've just completely given up on this. Completely given up. It's absolutely sad to watch another young black man lose his life. Losing his life. Behind what? Behind dissing the dead? Behind dissing the dead. This is one of the biggest issues, is dudes dissing the dead. Why is the dead in your mouth? Why are we slowly but surely devolving into this culture of thottery, disrespecting the dead, glorifying murders, glorifying sexual promiscuity? It's getting to the point where there's a dark cloud. There's a dark cloud over this culture right now. And they're saying right now, subreddits like Chiracology and others, that he was killed behind dissing the dead, behind dissing Vaughn and dissing other rival gang members that he had, because he was FBG. So I know Vaughn and them were definitely not his friends. They're saying that he was possibly killed behind those sneak disses, through music, through social media. This has to stop. The disrespecting of the dead. Because I'm not surprised if he was killed behind that. I wouldn't be surprised. There are people out there who will die or kill behind you disrespecting their dead family members. And it's getting worse. I'm in a state of shock right now, looking at the direction that things are going in. To see another body drop. Another body from this subculture in Chicago drop. It's like it's never going to end. And these dudes are getting older and older as the years go by. Late 20s, early 30s, and they're still dropping. It's hard to conceive of this being the future for this subset of the community, but it looks like this is the future. Lori Lightfoot isn't lifting a finger to do anything. Illinois as a state is not lifting a finger to do anything. The Fed seem to be the only hope for Chicago. It's not like Atlanta, where Atlanta will come in and swoop these guys up and get rid of them. It doesn't seem to be the case. So, all in all, rest in peace to FBG Cash. It's unfortunate to see another young black man lose his life. Hopefully in the future, things change. These beefs can be solved, and if not solved, at least forcefully broken apart by the law if need be. And hopefully we can move into a future where we're not slaughtering one another anymore. Hopefully. I could be naive. I could be childish in my hope. But I genuinely hope that this comes to an end. It's sad to see that this continuous loss of death is continuous. That's all I got to say about that.